Hello and welcome to another scene set in Edessa the Dark Crusade Season 2. However, the scene is not set in Edessa. Oh no. You see, the good Lady Seneschal of Timurin, Sister Madeleine, is set to serve as an emissary for her clan. And with the blessing of the Seneschal of Edessa and the Prince of Timurin, has been sent on a diplomatic mission to a city known as Amida, a military stronghold northeast of Edessa. A city that sits comfortably within the realms of the Ibuid dynasty, a fortified city that rests along a river. And a known domain or princedom that the Assamites control. Not a common thing, only really significant here in within the Middle East itself. The Assamites don't really have too much sway outside the Middle East and Africa. They're almost a non-factor in Europe. But here, and in a few places within the Far East, within India, contesting with the Ravnos. They have a place to call their own. Madeleine has been on a day-long trip. Naturally, because of the length of this trip and the fact that she cannot travel during the day, at least not naturally. She has had to spend a good half of the trip within a secure temporary haven, moving one. Or rather, a temporary haven that rests on a moving device, which we call a wagon. However, night has sprung, and Madeleine is able to walk, or rather, be released from her rather confined spaces once again. She's rapidly approaching the city of Amida. She briefly has to take a raft to get across the lake. It's there's a professional rafting service. They have about 3 or 4 people on one side of the riverbank, 3 or 4 other people on the other side. And they raft people across. You can just take the long way around, which is what most caravans do, but you are not exactly carrying delicate goods other than yourself.
I was just about to say one very delicate thing, but goods, that's probably not the word. But yeah, Madeleine will just, as usual, just greet and talk a little small talk with the people carrying her cross. She will thank them for the service and pay them, and do a little curtsy as she leaves. And she will walk up. She has a certain person that she is supposed to meet with, but, well, a meeting has been set in place, but having never been here, she needs to at least find her way around. She will, well, approach the gates. Is there, like, guards, and is it closed, or what are we talking?
There's a heavy military presence in this city, so yeah. You're not going to get far running into some guards. Also well outfitted, for the most part. Like, there's armored cavalrymen. It's a rare sight. That sort of thing is strictly military. You don't get that in the City Watch. You know, you get horse riders. You know, you get armored men on horseback. You don't get armored horses. So that definitely sticks out.
She will see, like, she will probably be spoken to, but she will wait until the guards will address her. Unless they're just letting her go in, of course.
You don't exactly look a vagrant, so they'll ask you what your they'll ask you who you are and what your business is within the city. They find it strange. Are you dressed like a nun or a woman of the cloth, or are you dressed in more kind of traveling gear like in your overlay?
Traveling gear.
Okay, fair enough. Actually, they will ask what and they speak in Arabic, strictly Arabic. Ask what a woman from Europe is doing so far to the east.
She will respond in Arabic, taking in the sights and seeing new and wonderful things. Dutiful men. She will nod to them. And she will say, well, I have traveled here from Edessa, and I have certain business arrangements that require me to have a meeting in your fair city.
They ask, with who? What's your name?
Yeah, she will just say, my name is Madeline.
The guard's head bobbles. The guard kind of looks at him. The guard's bobbling his head. Looks a little bit portly, but looks like the more experienced kind of a leading man. He just kind of says, go get them. Yeah, younger guy. Taller, broader. Dutifully runs off.
Okay, so he's getting someone else.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, and it only takes a couple of minutes. he asks politely for you to where you are, just verifying certain matters.
Madeline will just smile and say, she will just comment and say, "You are only doing your job. I will stay here as long as you tell me to." And she smiles.
Doesn't take long for the younger guy to come back. Can't whisper something to the other guy. With permission by the captain of the guard to enter the city. Bid you good evening, ma'am.
Thank you. She curtsies and will enter the city.
You and your small venue. You have some mortals of you, I presume.
Yes.
For the purposes of keeping up the silence and,
Travel realities being what they are, she needs some help.
Yeah, fair. It's completely fair. They enter with you. The guards ask you that you park your caravan in a specific place. It's not too far past the there's a portcullis and effectively a roofless antechamber, kind of like in Edessa. And
she will comply.
But they'll ask, and they will search you. They will not search you, but search your caravan. They find nothing. Presumably, you have not brought anything of particular danger or
nope.
Any contraband with you. Yeah. Don't find anything. They're satisfied with this. They appreciate cooperation. Or they appear neutral, in the sense that, business is business, Nowadays, the medieval office. And the guards are ushered away while you're waiting. Someone approaches you.
Dum, dum, dum.
An absolutely massive individual, like almost as tall as a red man, and a red man's like fucking 8-9 foot tall. It's not ridiculous. Approaches you. Are you Sister Madeleine of Edessa?
I am.
He speaks very bluntly, and his voice is quite gravelly and deep.
She curtsies as she says, "Yes, I am."
I am Tahir.
Very good to meet you.
I will be escorting you this evening.
Please, go ahead.
And do not stray from the roads or my sight.
Fair enough. Will you escort me somewhere, or?
You want to be escorted to our good leader, then the local affairs of the city, and then your home for this evening under the courtesy of our good leader.
Well, I do have a person I wish to speak to. I have already made arrangements.
I'm sure you'll find Tara.
Do you know where I can find Telifa?
His neck flexes to one side, then flexes back, kind of sways back and forth. Laurel peony.
Roll the P&E, yes? Very much so.
Dice roll might not be working right now, just double check. Try and dice roll it too. Try rolling. I'll try rolling as well. Okay, it works now.
So we're into two?
Yeah, just dice roll it too. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well done. Ooh. Pick out by social cues. This is not exactly aura perception, but it's 6 successes on an epiphany roll. The name obviously grates on him. You would consider the fact that he visually reacts in such a fashion, like to a complete stranger regarding the name, means that he clearly does not like her. You guess that he's probably not afraid of expressing to people that he does not like her.
Hmm. She takes notice of this, but she won't comment on it.
Oh, great. We need more harpies. We really do. Follow me. Your mortal followers will be well looked after. I assure you, no harm will come to them, even if it were to come to you.
That is good to know. She smiles a bit. With a bit of a crooked smile. But
if we break you in two, your mortals will be okay. Hooray!
You'll be dusted, but that won't be harmed. Yeah, like Madeline is. We'll take that as a joke, even though it's probably not.
His face just expresses complete, just fucking ambivalence to your very existence.
Yeah, she gets that. Well, she will just thank him and follow him quite closely.
You walk down the road, it takes you about 20-30 minutes. Just straight walking. Tahir says literally nothing. Can you make me a perception awareness roll quick? Difficulty will be 7.
And will Auspex help, or is it only if I activate it?
Auspex will not help with this roll.
Fair enough. 2 successes.
You feel, as you begin to walk into the main part of the city, you cut through like a single alleyway. As you cut through this alleyway, you feel a sudden separation from the world around you. Kind of like a severance, but it's not like a sword cutting through, cutting a tether off of you or anything. Rather, it's almost like it's almost as if something were pulled over you.
Hmm. But it was definitely when I entered, it wasn't any person, it was the location, rather.
Yeah, when you walk out of the alley, 2 successes, you notice that people are generally walking around you and do not notice you.
Ah, okay.
Like, your appearance 5, people look at you a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case here. Tahir does not say anything in response to what has just happened. Doesn't even seem to register it. Eventually you wind up at a fairly large inn. It's large. It has a small performance area, many areas for drinking and eating, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's closer to a restaurant than anything else, with lodgings, basically. It's not even really a tavern, it's too big. It's one of the larger buildings in the city. Maybe not quite the largest, but it's up there.
Impressive. Madeline will wait to see if her, escort, or whatever you want to call it, does he wait outside, or does he just go in and have her follow?
Tahir leads you in. And for the first time in about half an hour, he'll say something to you. Lower floor.
I thank you. She curtsies once more.
He'll nod in acknowledgement.
And Madeline will proceed to the lower floor.
You go down take a staircase down. The floor is made of stone. Smoothed. It's quite nice, actually. Tiled. When you enter the floor, though, you see you feel the isolation. that sort of isolated, not lonely, but distanced feel. You feel it end. There are quite a lot of Canaanites in this room. It's kind of like the room upstairs. In fact, it's almost a carbon copy. Lots of tables. This time it's all made of stone. It's the real difference. There's the bar in exactly the same place. There's a Canaanite there. They're serving blood. A lot of Canaanites here as well. Most of them are Assamites, from what you can tell.
Which would be expected.
Dark skin. Also doesn't help if you're you tend to start, like, if your ethnicity is that of dark skin, you tend to suffer from the Assamite weakness actually a little bit faster.
And you go like essentially black, or
yeah, people who start with paler skin usually take longer because their skin is naturally brighter, like kind of like the opposite of what the Assamite weakness is. It's not a massive difference, but it's noticeable, particularly if you are African, because you're ebony within a few decades. It's pretty nasty. Definitely a few people who have gone like a bit unnaturally ebony here. Not so much. You judge that they're probably neonates, a lot of them. And there are probably plenty of Assamites who have not substantially suffered from their clan weakness. You also see a couple of other Canaanites walking around. You also see a gentleman who appears to speak with a Frankish accent. He's well kept, slender, a little bit short, probably a bit taller than him. He's dressed in fine robes. Doesn't really look like he's from the region, especially not here. He would appear to be a merchant of sorts. He's chatting with people. That's the guy that stands out. But you are looking for a particular person.
Indeed.
One second, as I can get here for you. You notice the woman described to you as Talifa. She's kind of sitting on a chair, very laxly. She has her arms kind of straddled across both arms of the chair. She sips at a goblet of blood rather lightly. She kind of looks at everyone with that kind of with a pretty sharp grin and predatory eyes. You head towards her?
I do.
She notices you from a mile off. Eyes quickly turn to you, especially as you begin to approach her.
Good evening.
She'll look up at you. Oh, if isn't the talk of the town. Well, hello there, Sister Madeleine.
Hello. It is good to finally meet you.
Oh, an absolute pleasure to meet you as well.
Talk of the town, no less. I did not
Oh,
aware that I was almost in anticipation.
oh, you're pretty famous around these parts. Holding the position of central twice, being so, for one so young as yourself, quite an accomplishment.
Well, all good things comes for those who serve their respective lords or lands.
Oh, I can't imagine.
Well,
Summer must have something very special planned to send you over here. Or perhaps they were just hoping to hear it off you as soon as you went to the city. Just tend to have a bit of a quick blade hand.
well, whatever they wanted, I suppose we will find out soon.
Well, I'm glad to see he didn't immediately kill you. It doesn't exactly do wonders for popularity.
Well, I hope I can dissuade him for some time yet.
Yeah, it's good to. Well, you can give your best shot. Many have tried. Everyone else has died. It's kind of glad Jacoby made Primage in Edessa. Much more stable fellow.
Oh, yes, I spoke with him some time ago. Very
Doesn't have a sharp
measured.
sword, but much sharper mind, if you understand my meaning.
Oh, I do. It is rare that you find a man who only says exactly what he means. It does not speak with his eyes, ears, mouth, anything else than what he says. That is rare, rare indeed.
Men do love to use their mouths.
But I'm sure that people who look out for intruders and maybe a little quick to the blade have their uses.
Oh, absolutely, but there are a dime a dozen these days. Not exactly in demand, particularly since the Bitter Crusade has ended. Must say, a great showing for our warriors, but without a battle to fight, it's left a bit out of sorts.
Well, hopefully we can put some of these things behind us and get to a position that, well, is somewhat more productive in many ways, I suppose.
Oh, behind us. I certainly hope you haven't done anything to offend our clan now.
No, not at all. I was perhaps more speaking of just a general setup. It seems that one thing, the crusade, is replaced by another. The war of the usurpers. Well, against the usurpers, I suppose.
Yes.
I would really like for some stability at some point, but apparently we will never get it.
If there was ever a time to burn someone at the stake for being a witch, it would be this time.
Do you have many of... I suppose you don't have any of their number here.
With the hero sheriff? Oh no. There's a reason we don't need a scourge.
Well, I suppose that is one good thing that comes of it.
Well, you yearn for enough blood, and eventually you can just fulfill both roles for yourself. He doesn't seem to like it when I say that. I consider it a compliment.
Well, two people that have a very different view on how to manage things will come to bump heads eventually.
Yes, we do. We have thick skulls.
Well, I hope you are still able to speak to each other, but
Oh, of course, we can. I just have a far better sense of humour. But tell me, what would you like to know?
well, some of your dear city, it seems to be a bastion, quite the fortified city.
Oh, not too unlike Edessa, no?
Well,
I remember when it used to belong to the old Godwin line. It was a state in its own right.
I suppose that is true. I am curious. This is primarily of your clan, but there are others present, no?
Oh, there are so many of us within this city. In fact, we outnumber everyone else. There's about 20 of us. The clan who comes even remotely close to our numbers is the Gangrel. And well, if you want to hear a bit more about them, I would advise you talk to Asim over there. He's our keeper. Good fellow. Balances out to hear a little bit. Gruff like him, but softer head on his shoulders.
I will talk with him later.
Oh, absolutely lovely man. Couldn't recommend him enough.
I look forward to meeting him.
Could use a bit more diversity in the city, to be honest. No offense to my clan, but it does get a bit boring when it's it's the same shade of grey over and over again.
Well, you can, at least for the next few days, have the joy of my company. And she will just smile, and she's obviously somewhat joking when she says that.
Oh, and Joyce, it shall be.
I have been wondering, however, in this city, it must take quite a bit to keep such a strong force armed and ready at all times, no? Well, it's merely a curiosity of mine.
Oh, well, I calm me down a little bit now that the bit of crusade is over, but yes, it's quite a heavy investment from our good friends among the Saracens. Shame about what they did to Edessa, but I'm sure we can put that all behind us, as he said.
Well, the past is the past.
And the future is the future, which apparently involves burning a lot of blood witches at the stake.
It would appear so.
Well, at least it's something we can all get behind. It's very overseen that.
I wonder, are there any Ventru or Toreador in the city?
Oh, yes, not many.
I would
Certainly not enough that Primogen Council, no.
I would think that your sheriff would be, well,
There's only a couple Toreador and about 3 or 4 Ventru.
and your sheriff is just as Well, Syl is after them. He should be, given their, well, certain allegiances.
Oh yes, I did hear about the venture in the Toreador acting up within Edessa. Kind of curious. Honestly, I'd say your prince should be much stricter and should come down much harsher on them. After all, prince who can't enforce his laws, not a prince. I think Eklanets competing with the Cappadocians for supremacy over magic, well, that'd be a bit of a touchy subject for the Cappadocians. This break doesn't come down harsher. It's sort of odd, in my opinion. But, yeah. Yes. We don't have the same problems here. We are much more at peace with each other.
Quite so.
The Venture and Toreador are very much compliant with the policy regarding Tremere in this city. She wouldn't say Tremere. Usurpers within this city.
That is good to hear. Well, of course, Edessa it is located where it is located, and when one is on the Silk Road, well, there's simply a lot more travelers and a lot more potential for certain disturbances and conflict, I suppose.
Oh, I didn't know travelers stayed within a city for 70 years. I'll definitely have to mention that to the local kangaroo. Should add some new context to their right to roam, as they call it. As Madeleine just spends a few seconds soaking in all this ag damage.
Oh no! She just she sits there and she just says, "Well, tell me of your prince, please. I've heard so little of him."
The good prince. Yes, absolutely delightful man. Rather strange fellow, or rather it's strange he ended up in the position he did, but I suppose he was just more popular than everybody else. He's been in power for a good long time now. Generally fairly reasonable, but then again, he has to hear to be reasonable on his behalf, so it's not exactly a high bar to reach.
Oh, well, one does not stay in power for a longer period of time without being capable.
Or just having enough patsies. But I wouldn't accuse my prince of doing that at all, no. As you say, he's got a very strong policy for this city and those around it. He knows exactly where his limitations lie, doesn't decide to go through, and doesn't overstep his boundaries. Very wily man, I like that. I like that in a person. He's very sharp. A warrior with words, I would say. No doubt you'll have to meet in that event at the city, but I must ask, why do you come to Amida? What brings you here?
Well, Amida is one of the closer settlements, cities of repute. And, well, as you probably know, given my title, I have certain inquiries I must make in my new position for the future of Timuran in this city.
Oh, a diplomatic mission. How intriguing. I can't help but wonder what you intend to discuss with His Majesty. Although I have heard the rumors everything's getting a bit more, shall we say, rough and tumble out there. Everyone's bristling their fur and baring their fangs. And she'll can't lean in and whisper to you, even here. You wouldn't know it. But it's true. Everyone's at each other's throats. They're just waiting for who will cast the first stone.
Among each other, or even amongst... She whispers this. Or
When she says, like, they're all at each other's throats, she's just wondering who will cast the first stone. That's said aloud. Like, normal volume.
Well, that seems to be the case so many places. And not only for our kind, but there seems to be a certain growing, if I did not know better, anticipation for such a thing. Would not say I'm looking forward to it, but there are certain things in the Holy Land that one must constantly take into consideration. Timuran must. Edessa must. I would think Jerusalem must also take certain things into consideration at some point.
Oh, your first choice when looking for a friend was us. I'm touched. You made the right decision.
Well, my clan, the Magisters. Yes, we can be difficult sometimes, I will admit, but we do appreciate honesty and people who keep their words.
I kind of want you to roll manipulation of subterfuge, but I'm not going to say you have to because that would be a bit harsh. Just because Lasombra are like the most treacherous clan ever. Apart from maybe the adventure, but hey.
Well, that might be, but they do well.
To be fair, they are fairly transparent for people who control unending darkness.
Ha 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 ha. That was actually a pretty good pun. I'm just gonna say that. That was pretty good.
Oh yes, I like your clan. Very wily.
Quite a few of us try our very best, she says, again with a smile.
Ah yes, there are always those who fall on their sword, but not all of us can be successful. If everyone's successful, it wouldn't be nearly as fun.
Indeed.
Kind of like how a canvas needs to be white for it to complement the color that will soon be added to make up the picture.
Can you repeat that? Because I almost heard it.
She makes a metaphor about it's similar to a canvas, like a blank canvas needing to be, well, black and white to complement the colors that will make up the picture.
Ah. Same. What? I think I'm going to enjoy my stay here. I saw a person that may come from my part of the world, that Franken merchant. Do you know his name?
Jeremiah, yes, very interesting man.
Do you know of his family?
Oh, yes, he's untrue. Been swinging his weight around as of late.
I'm sure that has assisted in the calm and peaceful mood within the city. He says, obviously sarcastically.
Oh yes, he's caused quite a stir. Tahir's not happy about it, but he's not happy about most things. Rumour has it he's even asked for his death on more than one occasion, but the prince has declined, perhaps because it wouldn't fare too well for our partnership with the gangrel if they were just to start killing our guests because they were, for lack of a better word, a nuisance. Everyone is an irritation at some point in their lives. Tahir has spent all of his life being a nuisance. I don't know. I don't see why we should get so angry at Jeremiah for stepping out of line on just one occasion.
Perhaps there is history, one way or the other. I would not begin to speculate, but...
Well, my words mean little. I am a simple neonate after all.
She, just age-wise, there is no sign of any, weakness yet, right? She is fairly young.
Not that you're aware. She clearly she's clearly Arabic, but yeah. She actually, because she's Arabic, she should be slightly quicker. Not the same if she's not African, so it's not as bad for her. But yeah.
All right. So life in this city must be wonderful. I hope that there are no needs or things that are in short supply. It does not seem so.
Oh, we have our reserves. We're seen as quite resourceful. Of course, we can't hold events like this all too often. I suspect they held it because you were coming in and wanted to leave a good impression.
Well, I am flattered.
No, you should be. It's a lovely little event they've got going. As you're talking, familiar face enters the room again.
Does he do anything, or does it just...
He walks towards you.
Madeline will get up and curtsies once more.
As Khalifa simply postures towards him. Oh, the Scorpion King has returned from his long, sorrowful journey. But can still rip out your tongue. I think you'll find it's my tongue is far sharper than whatever's going on up there. He kind of grunts at her, just flexes his neck again. But Lady Madeleine, the prince will see you now.
Thank you. She will bow and curtsy and bid farewell to her conversation partner. And she will just say, "It has been a very good pleasure to meet you. I hope to speak with you again soon."
Likewise, Lady Madeleine. And then she goes to bow, but then she kind of looks a bit puzzled. You feel a similar isolation, similar separation from this earthly plane begins to take hold again. Same feeling as before. She just kind of rolls her eyes, but it's kind of like it's odd because the way she does it is kind of like not really in your direction. It's kind of roughly in your direction. It's almost as if it were being done by a blind person, you know? The eyes are slightly off kilter, so it looks a bit odd.
Where did she go? Where did she go?
It looks a little bit sexually awkward, but she gets back to her drink, just like as if you are no longer there. And once again, Tahir escorts you in complete silence. You are escorted to the main fortifications of this city. Fairly large castle like in Timurin. Less spectacular, more military.
So it's more practically minded for tactics and for defense?
Yeah, this is less built as a home and more built as a stronghold. A lot of armaments, guards harry across the halls. There aren't too many servants. There are a few, but there aren't too many. Torches light every hallway. There's often windows to peek out of. You don't get to see a lot of the building, of course, but that's what you see. You also see several artillery stations on the walls of the castle. Catapults, ballistae, that sort of thing. I'm not sure it'd be ballistae. I think it would be catapults, I believe. siege weapons. He eventually walks you, heading pretty into the center of the castle, upper floor. You eventually reach after going up a few stairways, down a few halls. And you finally make your way to the room in which you are to meet the prince. It simply says, "The prince and his seneschals will see you now."
I thank you.
Mm.
I only hope to find that we would have a sheriff in our own city that would be as dutiful as you. She curtsies.
He gauges your words in silence. He opens the door for you. You see two people. This man. This man.
Madeline will go in, and she will do a deep, deep curtsy and hold it. Probably until she will be spoken to.
The man with a visible, basically a visible face. As one of them is barely visible at all. Their faces veiled. The eyes, both of these people, despite the overlays, have black skin. Dark black, ebony. He steps forward and he says, "Good day to you. I am Seneschal Lufti of Amida. I presume you are Seneschal Madeleine of Tamaran."
I am indeed.
An honor to meet you.
Likewise. I am quite glad for your arrangements, so that I'd not spend time getting lost.
You have our prince to thank for this, not myself. Speaking of which, he seems fairly lax. He's an interesting mix of casual and formal. He's quite amiable. This is our good prince, Kasib, of Clan Assamite, elder of our clan, Azamai. Prince will stand. Seneschal Madeleine, a pleasure to meet you.
The pleasure is mine. I've been looking forward to this. I have not had much dealing in my short time with your clan, but it is a pleasure I have recently begun to acquaint myself with. The primogen of your clan in Edessa is a good man. I found my conversation and dealings with him quite pleasing.
Yes, we heard about your dealings with crap. How do you know him? You know him as Jacoby, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we've heard of your meetings and your proposals to Jacoby. We find your overtures to our clan most amiable. We appreciate your gestures prior to this meeting. I think I speak on behalf of many in our clan when I say we are very much fond of the gestures you and the Seneschal of Edessa have made towards us.
I am glad that this is the case. As you are perhaps aware that there are certain clans that can be a concern for quite a few others. Clan Ventrue, for instance. One should not necessarily take chances when it comes to them being ambitious.
I believe that could be said of all clans, but you're not wrong. Ventrue do have, well, they have made themselves a reputation for ambition. Ever since the Roman days.
Quite so. But it is rare that I find a Ventrue that is completely lacking the capabilities to shoulder these ambitions. But, well, I suppose that they must have a quite arduous selection process. I would not know.
Oh, I would fear too now, considering their tendencies, but enough on those who would seek to be our Lord and Saviours. Of course, we are both aware of the reasons for your being here. As Prince, I accept your presence within this city.
Thank you.
We will not be holding negotiations this evening. Of course, you have simply arrived. It would be exploitative to ambush you the moment you walk into our domain. As such, I see it would be more fit to perhaps give yourself a night or two to adjust to the city at large, and perhaps within the next night or two we can begin discussions proper. I'm sure you have much you wish to work through, and as do we. I doubt any of us would wish to be ill-prepared or poorly representing their betters.
Of course. I would also like some time to enjoy your fair city. It is quite unlike Edessa.
I'm kind of let down here. The city has always been that way.
Well, it is a change for me. And one I would like to enjoy a little.
Well, there's plenty to do, if nothing else. It is the nature of military life. I know there are some, and you've no doubt met them, who question his presence within my court, but he is a man who is very adept at keeping the peace, and is a well-adjusted military gentleman.
I had gotten that impression.
I hope you'll forgive his gruff demeanor. It is simply his way of retaining impartiality in the case of incidents that are beyond his control. As such, he needs to be willing to execute orders that he is given that he may not enjoy, or make judgment calls in the moment, and engaging in sorry, he'd be much more adept at this than I am. Engaging in more casual intimacies is beneath his station. And he makes a very strong point of upholding that particular rule, as is his duty. So please, I would ask you to not hold it against him.
I will not. And I have not found a problem with it yet, and will probably not. I feel quite safe in his company.
That is good to hear. If there is anything you wish to discuss immediately, my senator is available for such things. Unfortunately, I only have a brief moment to discuss matters with you this evening.
Please do not let me hold you. I am sure that there are many, many things that require your attention.
You're most gracious. But yes, you are more welcome within this city as a recognized member of your clan. We hope you enjoy your stay.
Thank you. She curtsies again deeply.
I shall be on my way. But if there's anything you wish to discuss with the seneschal, he will simply bow.
Mm-hmm.
And he will vanish. After, well, he'll say, good evening, and then vanish.
Madeline will stand there for a moment, gets up, and she will just walk to the seneschal and just say, "What? It's quite the city, I must say."
We're glad you enjoyed it. It tends to be one of an acquired taste, in my opinion. It takes some adjustment. It's not a mercantile city. It is not as cosmopolitan as, let's say, Edessa or Timonan or the coastal states.
No, there seems to be a certain mood that comes with so many guards, military. But it must, I would assume that it would cause some more stability.
Yes, it is quite stable here. We do not have the problems of other domains within the region. They're quite comfortable, whereas other domains are quite unstable. Trading hands quite frequently, often at war with each other or other domains. We prefer to keep to ourselves, keep the peace within our own domain. We do not overstep our boundaries unless it is absolutely necessary.
But as you are aware, as you and your prince said, there is a reason I'm here, and at some point in the future, it might be necessary. But we should not be discussing these things yet.
Oh, of course not. No. We've got plenty of time, however.
Yes, of course.
Did you enjoy Elysium?
Quite so. It was good to see that there were quite the merriment there.
Yes, it has been one of the active nights. I'm sure you met Talifa. She's happy. I know she gets on. She gets along with Tahir wonderfully. He says rather sarcastically.
Yes, the two, when he came to escort me here, they did seem to exchange a couple of, well, friendly words among siblings.
Mm. They get along about as well as a bourgeois fist and a Ventral's face. If I may be so blunt.
Well, from what I saw, I find that somewhat of an apt description.
Regardless, as much as Tahir would like her to perhaps stand more in line with the rest of the clan. We give her space. After all, she would not be happy at all if she were not adept at playing the game or remaining within the rules.
Quite so.
It is a shame. It is. Tahir is a most upstanding warrior and defender of our clan, but he's always had trouble understanding the power of words. Then again, he's also a man who knows his place within the world, and he knows it is not his place to act or question such things. It is something that goes often overlooked, but it is a most respectable decision for him to make. So, while it may look like they often do not get along well for a domain that claims so much stability, it is actually a testament to our ability to remain stable with so many differing personalities.
And a credit to its senator. I am, no doubt.
You flatter me, fellow seneschal.
Well, I may not have done the job that long, given the, well, rather strange circumstances I was first introduced to the job, but I do know that as soon as you have, well, more than 5K knights within a couple of miles of each other, it is quite the job, no matter what, to keep them from, well, keep them somewhat happy.
Lines must be drawn, yes.
I can appreciate others who know the job and the requirements of it. And given the stability of this place, I must say the truth.
As you should, as you should. Honesty, they say, is a virtue.
I did not speak to him, but I did see a quite A rather socially filling man. A merchant of kind of intro at the Elysium.
Only perception empathy. Ooh, 5 successes.
Ah, damn it.
He looks composed. Ah, yes, Jeremiah, I believe.
That was the name I heard. It must be my predicament at home that casts a light on this. This is regrettable, but oh well. I should do my best to be on my best behavior.
I'm sure you shall. Lucy, is there anything else you'd like to discuss at the Seneschal?
At this point, no.
Okay. Then I think if it's okay with the player, that we could end the scene of the Seneschal and, well, the other Seneschal.
Before she is escorted to a room where she will be, well,
kept prisoner,
watched.
Be another guest.
Yeah, and be kept under watch by a very, very, very zealous sheriff. But yeah, that's totally fine.
Most serious.
Most serious.
And I think with that, we may end our scene there. Thank you, Claire, for playing. Thank you for just watching, and we'll see you next time in another episode of Amida, the Dark Crusade.